Well, it's a very quick gardening week this week. I'm just going to do a quick tour around the allotment, show you the bits and pieces that I've been doing today. Back at home, I've basically done nothing other than cut the grass, and that's worthy of mention because I don't think at this time of year I've ever seen the grass look quite as lush and green, although there are lots of weeds in it, but you can't really see them at this angle. So yeah, so let's just take a quick look round, show you the bits and pieces that have been going on, how things are going. So first up, I just wanted to show you that on some of the squashes, we're getting these little immature fruits, and obviously these are never going to mature. So we take them off maybe when they're about an inch bigger than that, and just have them as a summer squash. So my actual Crown Prince squashes, these are starting to dry quite nicely here. So I think next week when I get back from holiday, I will be taking these off and putting them in the conservatory to cure. But they're all looking really quite nice and dry. Remember last week I cleared these of potatoes, and I've got the first one of the beds planted up with lettuce, and they're looking quite nice. They've kind of close to doubled in size since I put them in a few days ago. So yeah, quite happy with those. And I've got the cold frame lid on there, and I am keeping it closed but vented. The wind's probably going to close it for me actually, because it's pretty windy today. Also got some spinach which I'm just about to plant in this bed. I've just watered the modules. I like always to plant well watered modules and into well watered ground, so I will be watering this, but it is a bit disappointing because this is my homemade compost, and as always it's got loads of weed seeds in it. No matter what I do, I seem to get a lot of weed seeds in homemade compost. Anyway, it'll only be a few minutes to get those weeded out. So I put my support brake so that I don't get this smashing into my head, and I'm well on with putting all these little spinach plants in. I'm putting a lot in because it's quite likely that I'll be taking every other plant out in probably like February time or something like that, and putting, you know, either radish or turnips or something like that in its place. So, you know, right now this is my only spinach bed, so I want as much spinach as I can get for salads and cooking. And in fact, this will be my only spinach bed that's probably harvested in autumn, and the other spinach beds that I'm planting, you know, they're primarily for winter. So I've put my stepping stone in. I'll keep this stepping stone, otherwise I won't be able to harvest all of this bed. I just can't reach it all. So I'm really happy with these. They're all a bit flopped over because I've just watered them in, but I think they're going to do really nicely. I think by the time I get back from holiday they'll all have picked up well, and might just give a few of them just a little bit of assistance. But yeah, generally speaking, I think pretty happy with them. As I said, they are a bit leggy, but the root systems on them are really strong. So that kind of really bodes well for them looking in pretty good condition by the time I get back. And if I get time, I'm going to clear this bed of melons and take the straulch out and get it reconditioned and ready to replant with lettuce. The lettuce is about 10 days away from planting, so yeah, I want to try and get ahead of plan. Clear this melon bed as well. So this melon that's in here is lovely and fruity, but we did harvest one last week. It was lovely and fruity smelling, but it didn't taste very nice. I just don't think there's been enough sunshine to develop much sugar in the melon. So yeah, I haven't got very high hopes for that one. But look how well those radish and turnips are doing. These are the ones that I planted, well, maybe it was the beginning of last week, something like that. And yeah, and these 2 beds and this bed are going to get replanted with spinach, giant winter, and it's almost ready. And no, not almost ready, it's all germinated, and it's about 2 weeks away from planting. And then that bed will get replanted again, also with spinach, but I haven't sown that yet. This lettuce bed is coming out in about a week or two's time, and so I'm quite pleased to see that this lettuce bed is almost ready. Well, it is probably ready. I probably could start harvesting it now. Looking really lush. Very happy with that. Now starting to look at these pepper beds to see which one is going to be the first one to take out. I think it's going to be this one, because all of these peppers are in the process of ripening. You can see, like, even the green ones, there's a tinge of yellow on them, so they would all ripen even if I harvested them now. A little bit of slug damage there, look. These have been pretty good. We've harvested a lot of these, and I've still got quite a few of these at home as well, so I think it probably end up being this bed. And then I've got 2 more to harvest over the next few weeks. And a lot of tomatoes, making a lot of passata, and I quite like these for snacking actually, once they get to that sort of colour. They're really quite nice. But again, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get all this cleared by the time I get to October. I mean, there's some good trusses up at the top here still to come, but you know, there's 2.5 weeks or something like that. I think they'll all ripen in that time. So that's the stulch all cleared away, and this time of year basically everything I do is the same, just bed after bed. I give it a good water. In this case it's taken 3 watering cans to completely rehydrate the bed, and that is it hasn't been watered at all since probably the end of May, which is I just think it's incredible on sandy soil. You know, only 3 watering cans is all it needs. And anyway, once I've done that, I got it nicely rehydrated. Give it a good feed with bloodfish and bone at the layer where the straw is, so that that's there, a little bit of nitrogen there to help it to decompose, and water that bloodfish and bone in. And of course then I put the 1 inch-ish of compost on top, and so when I plant the modules, then the bloodfish and bone is basically going to be at the root zone. So yeah, and I just spread this out, and it doesn't need a water, it's really soggy wet, and then I'm done, ready to plant, as I said, in a week or so's time. So there we go, I'm off on holiday. I hope you have a good weekend. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.